What is Creative Talmud? Creative Talmud is something that I have developed over decades and have been running with teenagers in particular ever since before I was even a student rabbi. The idea is that we take very large pieces of paper and I place a Talmudic text right in the middle. And then people add questions and commentaries. And we have many different pieces of paper around the room. And what each participant does is they write down on one piece of paper, for example, an opening question, and then they move to another piece of paper and answer somebody else's question. And what you end up with is something quite extraordinary. Pages and pages of questions and commentary. And it's very powerful as an exercise in education. It's a different way of accessing Talmud. The traditional way is to sit and to look at the commentaries and to learn what do our ancestors, our rabbinic ancestors in particular, what do they say this text means? But this is different. This is a way of exploring the process of how they got to those answers. And it tells us a lot about ourselves and the way that we understand our Jewish tradition. So, for example, one person's question might be halachic. What's the law here? Another might be philosophical. Another might be ethical. Another might be clarification. What does this mean? Another might be derivative in the sense of, if this is the case, what law do we derive or what custom do we derive from this? And what's fascinating is that you watch this dance, this textual interpretive dance develop. And over many pieces of paper, people return to each piece of paper and continue conversations. Or they go and start another conversation on another piece of paper about a totally different topic. And it helps us to see Talmud, to see this core rabbinic text in a different way, as an interplay of differing ideas, of differing perspectives. And what do we do with this? Well, afterwards, I redact it together. And I create our own page of Talmud, essentially, for every participant to take away. I can't do it on the spot. It takes quite a while to do, to gather all the discussions from all the different pieces of paper and ask, is this one actually the same as this discussion? In which case, I'll weave them together. And so the idea is that as we start our Creative Talmud sessions, which start this Sunday at 11 o'clock, at the next time we gather together to do Creative Talmud, you'll receive a redacted version. This is what we did last time. And you'll be able to look at it, take it home and say, oh, that's interesting because that was kind of the discussion that we had, but it's been woven together with that one. And that's an editorial choice. And so that adds an extra layer in terms of how we read Talmud, because sometimes the anonymous voice of the Mishnah or Gemara, in particular, the anonymous voice of the Gemara will add a little bit of commentary, will explain something and weave other things together. So it really is a fascinating way of learning Jewish texts. And it's mobile and interactive. It's not learning sitting at a table and having me speak at you. It's totally the opposite, in fact. I hardly participate at all. Other people provide questions and commentaries, and we learn and explore the text in that way. So I really hope that you'll be able to join us for this new adult education opportunity. Although, when I say adult education, it comes from our adult education ideas, but actually it's also with some of the younger people who I teach on a Sunday morning, or have been teaching this year. And so it's going to be multi-generational as well. So I really invite especially everyone in the community, but especially parents who might drop off their kids at our religious school on Sunday, stay, hang about together, socialize, and then instead of going home and then coming back to pick the kids up, stay and enjoy this Creative Talmud session. Because I really think this is a really different way of exploring text. But if you're not a religious school family member, don't think, well, he doesn't want us there. It's the other way round. I actually want as many diverse voices as possible. I want people who are young and old, who have been members of our community for a short time, who've been members of our community for a long time. All you need is a pen, and we provide them, and the ability to move from one table to another, and to discuss, and to be involved, and to explore text in a new, exciting way. So I really hope you'll be able to join us. I really hope you'll see this totally radical new idea for education, for across generations in our community. I hope you'll be able to participate in it, and then come back when we do the next session and see the page of Talmud that we've created as we start to write another one. I also hope you'll be able to join us for services as well. Our Kabbalat Shabbat service this evening is a lay-led, reflective and meditative service. It's a lovely service. I deliberately step away to give members of the community an opportunity to lead the services in a very different way, and not to worry about, well, what's Rabbi Neil thinking? Rabbi Neil's watching, we should do this or that. So I deliberately step back and encourage Yael and her team of lay leaders to create a service together. I know it's been very well received in the past, and I hope that you'll be able to experience that lay-led, reflective, meditative service this evening, as well as joining me for Torah study tomorrow morning and our Shacharit service as well. And then hopefully joining us on Sunday at 11 o'clock. We start promptly at 11 o'clock, so come and join us a little bit beforehand. 11 until 12 for Creative Talmud. I hope to see you then for a fascinating way to explore Jewish texts and indeed to pray together. We've got a lot of exciting things happening this weekend, and I hope to see you then.